Welcome, fellow armchair generals, to Barbarossa, or well, at least that's what I hope this episode will be. Starting out, it is being shown live on Twitch. We were almost caught up on YouTube to where the what I had in reserve, which is sort of bothering me because I like to have a few extra days in reserve. But okay, so we have Operation Barbarossa here. Decision to be made. And I think we're ready to go for it. So, let's just do this thing. Declare war on the Soviet Union. Okay. Good. So we're now at war with the Soviet Union. Yay! Defeat the commies. Okay. Well, I want to. Well, actually, let's go up to lift float, and then here. Go. You need to be stopped. Rest. Complete rest. But we should have some of these guys here. Intercept. Make sure that we have everybody who's in the east air intercepting. Deal with the Soviet air power. Area. That's why I really like putting these under a sort of central authority so I can find them quickly. Yes, well, you haven't seen... I'm really worried about this. This is sort of the first time in a long time I've been worried about a Barbarossa. Will I be able to do it? Will I be able to? Yes, I know air power starts isn't exciting. Okay, so we are here. Well, I'm going to click to this for a little while. It's not really the earliest moves that I'm worried about. It's will I be able to maintain a certain level of velocity. Yes, you can join in the initial attacks. Oh, you need a leader. Okay. I'm going to avoid that swamp. That's sort of why I'm wanting to very clearly see what I'm doing here. come down that way. These light infantry guys is why I have them here. It's just including special purpose armor to get through the swamp. You guys are going to try to avoid the swamp and come that way. We're going to try to create a big pocket. You guys come this way though. Now, we're doing that from there. Oh, no, actually. Yeah. Gothenburg. Where are my panzers? Oh. There we go. Come up that way along with. There we go. Hopefully that'll be a pretty good breakthrough there. Now here, so you got a lot of units there. 23 motorized, it looks like, approximately. Yeah. Some of the command staffs. A lot of extra core HQs. I want to come just right along here below this. So we're charging out of there. These guys just come here, go for Odessa. They may have some units deeper, but we don't have any right here, of course. That is going to start our Barbarossa. Let's speed this up a little bit. Yeah, well, these guys could be attacking too. Air power. Hopefully got enough of you guys up here to deal with all those. We'll add in Totenkopf. There's Group Nord. Yeah, that takes stopping and starting it. We'll just fool people. They'll think it's a really cool version of Hearts of Iron 4, maybe. Okay, so we've won there. We've got control over there. Yes, jungle training has advanced. Very good. We're going to stop that. Got all of the 42s that we're really sort of interested in there. Portugal, money for fuel, okay. Now they pop up. I think they literally be popping up. Yeah, clickbait. Okay. We had, earlier you might have seen, I don't know, the British invaded Madagascar. And so now we are going to try to take it back. We have ships and subs out here. Any air power in this area? Not really, okay. Oh, we have a bunch of them. Okay. Let's... Destiny. This will, this will help our manpower, so we very much want to do this. We're going normal Barbarossa. The world holds its breath. Slovakian Expeditionary Group, sure thing. Great. Carpathian Army Group. From the Hungarians, very good. Army Group Romania, sure. Winter clothing, yes please. That's gonna introduce new model infantry division. 42. Okay, introduce infantry division 42 new model. We'll see what that is. I'll clear this off. Okay, as a reaction to the huge losses during Operation Barbarossa and in light of declining manpower, the Wehrmacht administrators decided to establish a new table of organizations for an infantry division, new model. The new standard infantry division would consist of 3 regiments with a total of 6 battalions instead of 9. That would allow it to bring the deleted formations up to strength which match their real combat value, as well as dissolve German divisions. At this point would have required explanations to the German people. Apart from organizational dimensions of the Wehrmacht, also wanted to avoid the credibility gap between propaganda picture of having almost reached victory and tremendous losses in men and material in reality. Certainly the administrators were also motivated to hide the fact that Hitler intervened personally in such an extent that conceding a failure of the campaign would have had an impact on his image of being the infallible Führer of the Volk and Reich, which would have threatened the international stability of the Third Reich. Okay, decrease the size but keep the numbers. Well, guess this doesn't change anything but cost me supplies and give me manpower, which I would like. So yes, we will do that. good to hear, Tom. We won't be playing that much longer. Oh, it doesn't unlock an effect? Then no. I don't want that then. I mean, no. No, don't want that. Not that that is necessarily a terrible thing. I just don't want it yet. Because I have not gone through and had such a bad reaction yet. Now maybe this whole Barbarossa thing is going to fall apart on me and I'll need to go back to a save, but it isn't there yet. Let's get down deeper into this level of stuff. I've got a lot of divisions I have not committed, and that was intentional. Yes, I understand you can only do it once when it fires, but I don't like it. Oh, well, nope, I guess you can do it more than once. It looks like it's still there. The decision is, at least it looks like. Okay, light anti-aircraft armament advances on shipping. That's under cruisers, I believe, yes. So we'll stop that. Now we'll move it to heavy. So they're counterattacking there, but we're coming out. Okay, so now we have let's attach him to I guess here, over commander, there we go. So we have that, and we'll attach Airs Group South. Head towards the front. And the Romanians across Danube here. Help there. Oh, look it. Yeah, you can see here these guys sprung up because of an event and they put them inside of Hungarian territory here. Oh, interesting. Okay, let's go take a quick look down here for this. Okay, Italian trade, German new model. Okay, so supplies. Okay, I can handle the supplies. Thanks for pointing this out, by the way, Django. So build land speed is decreased, casualty trickle back is increased. So it's mostly good. So actually, probably because of a bug in it, I can still do it. So we'll do it. We'll go for it. This decision probably only sees it if I click this. There we go. Because it should be gone now. Yep, it's gone now. Yeah, yeah. Okay, now that they're let's do. Oh, they're being attacked from here. Okay, swell. Where did I get the 12% from? Well, from various things. One of them, I think, is the whole Barbarossa thing, but it was at 7% before I started this episode, or right about there. You can see in the couple of episodes that are you're skipping by watching this stream and not the stuff, and I haven't been paying attention to what's going on here well enough. Okay. You're advancing, good. You guys are coming down here, good. That's where we want you to go. And they're pushing into here. Against the British and Rhodesian types. And back up to here. Let's see, we have the Slovak army here. It's joining us. Come, you guys can come up to here. Well, just like you see here, for some reason, if you guys don't know, if you leave any of your forces on top of a puppet's capital like this, for some reason they're always out of supply. But if you move them one province away, they have supply. I don't understand that. Okay, so we're pushing into new model. Okay, so yeah, manpower. I like the manpower. Supplies. I can deal with the extra supply costs because I can gift a bit more of that. Amphibious unit training. I think that is here. Yes. And we'll leave that go. Argentina. Supplies for money. Sure. Okay, well, now that we have this, you can come into here to... You should be attached to a... Okay, get some guys that don't yet have... Oh, that's just so weird. To me, this is so weird. Seeing Swedish air power operating anywhere is just weird to me like this, to see them, because they're in the Axis, and I'm just so not used to it. That's just weird, seeing them helping me out. I'm used to seeing, you know, Hungarian or somebody else's forces here. Okay, we're not getting across this river as fast or as quickly as I'd like, so we're going to drop some bombs on them. On the far bank there. I think that'll be good. And also here, let's see, let's move you to there. And you can move down into there as well. Well, we've taken out a liner. I've got a bunch now. Hopefully they're all operating well. Let's just see. Okay, so no order. Well, these guys are out here. Okay. They need repair, and that's why they have no orders. They're up there and they have no orders because of that. Yeah, and they're hopefully repairing. Yeah. They tangled with the British. But yeah, most of these guys you can see in the Baltic, mouth of the Danube. Got a bunch operating in here, naval air, and a bunch down here. Hopefully you win any sort of superiority contest. Okay. Now. I think I have... Maybe it's these guys. Yeah, these guys here. Okay. See, what I did was to get like some extra fort taking abilities. I removed their vehicles so they would be slow. Didn't matter because they were going to be just taking Gibraltar. They didn't need to go anywhere after getting Gibraltar. Okay, you get on board. You guys get on board. Ooh, where's your HQ? Your HQ's up there. Okay. Yeah, you may need to change, but we'll do the same with them. Okay. That gives some armor. Let's see if we can invade. Here. No, let's see if we can invade here. Oh, we've had a scrape here. Hopefully we didn't lose anybody. Actually, hold on, guys. No, you just stay here. I think we're going to march across the Finnish border for a while. Okay, so now that we're across the river, I want to grab these units here and get them to get across that. Guderian, you can join that fight, give them some overall leadership. forward, forward, forward. Now what does Spain want? Give them supplies for money, certainly. Total economic localization propaganda. What we're trying to do, get to this way. I'm trying to create a pocket by coming here and going around here and creating all this in here as a pocket. And this is going to be a smaller one here, I'm hoping, in that kind of thing. But I'm wanting to create a pretty deep grand pocket here. You guys can cross the river now. No. This can be a problem. I want to solve it now. Oh, they're at war. Why? I'm attacking out of Romania. Romania's at war. Why is it going to German control? I want it to go to Romanian control. And that's weird. Oh, big bunch of events. Okay. Swedish volunteers, because Sweden was a strict neutral during World War II, other than during the short experience in the Winter War in 1939, it did not openly allow recruitment, into foreign armies. When Germany invaded the Soviet Union in 1941, its sentiments changed very little, although the Finns were allowed to garner volunteers. Once again, approximately 1,500 Swedes volunteered for service in Finland between 41 and 44. I presume this is a GGA event. Probably need to have a check to see whether it's in the Axis or not, and or at war with the Soviet Union for this, but I don't know. Volunteers from, but maybe form it anyways. I don't know. Hitler demands a panzer force. With the success of the Wehrmacht panzer formation, Hitler realized. See, a lot of these things are just going to pop up because they were sort of meant to happen in 41, but we delayed that, so delayed the invasion. So yes, Himmler's panzers. We'll get a panzer corps or something out of that. SS tank destroyer brigade. Yes, please. Soviet railways are too wide. The German advanced deeper into the Soviet Union. I know I've talked about this before, though more people haven't watched. I just don't understand sort of what happened here. You can look at a map of no, I guess this is fine. You can look at a map of this time period, and you can see right where the old German Empire border used to be. And you can see where you had the Russian Empire and the German Empire, and they both sort of, came along here. Poland was not an independent country at the time. And you can see the railway density and it just changes along that old border. Poland itself was never able to presumably they unified the railway gauges within Poland, but they never were able to industrially get the railway levels that it was in the former German Empire. So the Germans had to know that the Russian Imperial railway gauge was different than theirs. They had to have known that. I've watched a documentary, and the Germans did one thing in the American way. Only one thing in the American way, and it was one of the few things that was a massive success for the Germans. They settled fairly early on, they settled on a railway engine model. And they didn't change it. Once they settled on it, they didn't make a single change throughout the rest of the war. And they produced so many more railway engines than ever before in Germany, and they just concentrated on this one model, and they did it in sort of the American way, where the Germans, everything else, somebody suggests an improvement to a tank or to an artillery piece. Oh, great. Well, we'll add that in. Oh, well, we've got 50 of these tanks ready to go out there. Well, we'll send them back in and improve this hatch or whatever it is. The Americans made changes over time to their tanks, but nothing fiddly like the Germans did. But the Germans, in one case, matched the Americans and produced the hell out of railway engines. So they had some really good people on railways, but they didn't really set up a plan for dealing with Russia. And I don't know why they didn't. They had to have known. You got people like Rosenberg, who was he was a Baltic German, Baltic Deutsch, but I think he grew up or was born in Moscow, but from, family stock here. So you had very high ups in the Nazi regime that had lived in Russia or the Soviet Union before. You've had ongoing training, trade missions. You had the railway. They had to know that the railways are different. They didn't execute really a good plan to convert the railways in an active sense. And so, yeah, it's a mystery as to why they didn't. The future of the Soviet Union, since we're at war, we should think. No need a point rush. We're gonna go. See, I just don't like turning over control. I would like this better in Hearts of Iron 4, but I just no. Not this time. Yes, go ahead for supplies to that. Athens. Yes, 100 manpower. Great, we want that. Scrap iron. Yes. 1,000 bomber raid on Essen. As a major industrial center, Essen was a target for Allied bombing of the Royal Air Force, dropping a total of 36 long tons of bombs on the city. Over 270 air raids were launched against the city, destroying 90% of its center and 60% of its suburbs. On June 2nd, 1942, the second so-called 1,000 bomber raid hit heavily on its target, Essen. Okay, yes, I can see lots and lots of bomb damage here. And which really shows you that, okay, Bomber Harris really, very well may have been out for revenge against Germany for attacking. Whether it's attacking Britain, attacking Poland, bombing somewhere, I don't know. And was very wanting to flatten cities, knowing that they're civilians. But if you really think that they would put these 1,000 bomber raids out, and over 270 air raids, and only take out 90% and 60% of the suburbs, and you look at production continuing going on, if they could have, they would have targeted it better. But they couldn't. 270 raids. That's a lot of raids against Essen. And they only kept doing it is because they had information that it was still producing lots of things for the war effort. I don't know specifically in Essen whether it was aircraft or tanks or all of the above or, whatnot. And so, we've talked about this, and I know there's lots of Germans watching, but the mass bombings that killed many German civilians were just because this was the abilities or the limitations that the Western Allies had at destroying production. And so they sort of needed to. So, okay. So we lose infrastructure, industrial capacity. Okay. Local manpower. All right. Maybe... I know revolverheld hasn't been active in a while, but I don't know. I think it's a pretty big hit without the taking into effect whether I'm winning the air war or not. And that is a little bit of a problem. I might... We'll see how these go, because obviously here's another one. Partly where we're getting a bunch of dissent. Reactions that were right, but alright, it's going to increase production, war economy spent on anti-aircraft. Okay, we're going to do that. I hope it helps. Against, because I'm not disagreeing with the concept. Now let's come over to this map. I know we're in the middle of Barbarossa, but because you can sort of see, now you can say, oh, and I do sort of grant you, but so far they haven't even done this event yet to get American air bases there. You know, I know it, to some degree it's making up for lack of AI effort, and I'm just thinking about what I'm trying to say here. So, I think the bombing effect may be a bit too heavy, because it just... I don't know. I'm trying to think of a... Because of my modding skills, I'm trying to think of a check. I don't know of a good check. Obviously, I presume there's a check to see whether Britain's, you know, under British control or not. I don't know. I'm thinking about that. Okay, Ribbentrop informs correspondents on Barbarossa. Foreign correspondents of the international press were summoned by Ribbentrop at 5 hours, I guess 5 in the morning, in the Foreign Office in Berlin on the 22nd of June, 1941. He read a prepared statement which the Soviet Union needs to be, split the words out, I think, was accused of having conspired with the British to develop an attack plan against the Reich. Ribbentrop continued a lengthy description of alleged Soviet troop concentrations in all regions of the German-Soviet border, Finland, Hungary, Romania. He further claimed that many incursions of Soviet aircraft into the airspace of the Reich and its Axis partners had been noticed over the last months. Consequently, Hitler ordered the Wehrmacht to counter this threat by all means possible. Many correspondents left in disbelief about these allegations to prevent uncensored reports about the start of the Russian campaign and the justification of the Nazi regime. All communication lines out of Berlin were temporarily disconnected. Okay, cool. Yes, there was no immediate plans for Soviet invasion. I do sort of agree that the Soviets were preparing for a possible invasion. Not like right then in 41, and I'm, you know, but for the idea that, hey, if things don't, you know, things get in the right conditions, then we'll do it, kind of thing. And that's what they were sort of doing, but they were still coming back from the Winter War. Okay, we're gaining 2 more in dissent, and we're improving relations with some of our allies. Japanese war situation, January 1942, proven by thorough OKW analysis of Japanese capabilities. Closer cooperation with them will possibly allow to increase military potential. Shall we proceed? Help our Axis friends. Supplies, metal, money. Okay, yeah. Japan, Gantz. Okay, yep. Okay, we'll do that. Finnish war situation, March 42. Proven by thorough analysis. Okay. Do we want to send up aid to them? Okay, we'll go with that. OKW memorandum on the war situation, December 41. Okay, joint staff operation prepare analysis for the entry of Japan and the USA into the war aimed at. I don't know if I want to read all of this. Focus on Russia. Focus on the periphery. Well, we're going to do... Where have other plans? Well, okay, 2.5%. Don't know why you're taking away manpower and giving me manpower. Taking it away as modifier and giving it to me as 100. think we're going to go with the focus on Russia because I need the manpower. German press prepares for coming war with the USA. During the summer of 41, Hitler warily wanted to avoid the inevitable conflict with the USA as long as the Russian campaign was not decided. I bet considerably threatened events like occupation of Iceland by the USA in July 41, the stipulation of a shoot on sight order from the U.S. concerning naval vessels. Okay, however, the German press was instructed to psychologically prepare the population. Okay, so, yep. Panzer Army Africa crosses the Suez. Advance, advance, advance. Okay, we lose one in descent. Soviet Union gain some. Luftwaffe intelligence on enemy air power, 1941. Interesting photo there. Okay, Hitler, Goering, and whatnot. The Luftwaffe Intelligence Department estimated that the enemy air forces had reached significant numbers based on the latest figures, which outnumbered both our serviceable number of planes as well as our production of Luftwaffe needs. I recently saw a statistic that during that could be Django. That very well could be a very likely reason. Recently saw a statistic that the Allies made, I think it was 630,000 planes from 1939 to 1945. 630,000, and something like one plane every 5 seconds. That's a lot of planes. Germany could never keep up to that, no matter how much you want to think about that. Okay, so just German production, not in their wildest dreams, could keep up with that. And the air war is essentially a war of attrition. Okay, I don't know if I want to read all this. Potential deployment. Bombs destroyed before it could be applied. Therefore, the Luftwaffe needs significant forces of tactical bombers. Okay. Offensive priority, defensive priority. 1,000 money. Okay, I presume this is also a... oh, and we pushed too far ahead on standard branch infantry upgrade, so we want to stop that before we go any further. Be here in red, I think. Yeah, oh. Take that off. Okay. Change on the office. Oh, revolver held. I would get rid of this money thing. Maybe not even have a cost. I sort of agreed with giving money to help out Finland and help out Japan because it was a foreign thing, but I just don't like to see money used purely domestically. We're gonna go with defensive, the fighter, I think. Not that the others aren't good, but we'll do this. Okay, deploy the 13th Flak Division. -1. Okay, how many? We've got lots and lots and lots. Oh, we got lots and 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 lots stuff. How much flak? Okay, we've got 2 there. Okay, we'll take a flak division for the cost of that. They're down to that. And we've got the flak division there. Yeah. Okay, well, good. Set up the technical oil brigade, Operation Blue, aimed at capture the oil wells and. Okay, oil expert supplies money. Well, not that this isn't a no-brainer, but it does cost 1,000 monies. I would either remove that and or add a no thank you just in case. No, it's probably, I remember this I think from the last playthrough, recommended by or something like that. But yeah. Yeah, we'll do this. We got lots of army corps, but we'll use them maybe. That's an interesting photo. Which is interesting. Trying to figure out where it's from. The NSFK did not wear, so I'm pretty sure that's a an SA guy. So I guess presumably these two are also. That's an arrow pointing up that would be red there. So he's gone to the SA leadership school, fairly elite school for the SA. I mean, we have some right here. There's the school. It's elite enough that I made a unit, an event out of it. So he's gone to that. So this is an SA. Now he's in, and all the SAs guys are in riding breeches, so they may be Ritter SA. So that's some sort of training thing in Germany. Just sort of interesting me. Sorry, I'm going photo analysis on you, but I hadn't seen that one before. So yeah, we'll take that. Railway Protection Police. We've seen that. Germany's not supposed to have any of those guns. Sort of an interesting thing I've recently come across since the last playthrough. That's an MP18. Not an MP28, but an MP18 because it has the Trommel magazine, the drum magazine here. Well, okay, well, part of it is the army is not supposed to have them, so maybe the police could have had them. But mostly the police should be having the MP28s, because Germany, you know, loses World War I. They get told, you know, they can't have this, you can't have that, you know, like you can't have tanks, you can't have an air force, you can't, you know, you can't. And then at some point they come, and it wasn't meant, you know, sort of after the fact, oh, but can we have these thingies? The submachine guns. Oh, no. Got to turn them all in. And you also have to turn in, as part of this, all of your artillery Lugers. You know, with the drum magazines. So at some point, but the police sort of kind of could have had them, maybe because that's why they have them here. But the army's not supposed to have them. A lot of weird stuff were going on in the post-war thing. So yes or no. Okay, yeah, we want to do that. Form red battalion or battle battalions. Yes, I know we've looked at this before. The Reich Arbeitsdienst, the labor service, gains us manpower. Establish Reichsverwaltung Essens to increase management of steel production. Yeah, I think we've seen this before. Just we had a crash afterwards. Introduce Seebertions. Plotting table to be used to guide and allocate night fighters against. Oh, okay. So this is. Oh, okay. I'm looking up the picture finally. Plotting tables to help with air defense. So hopefully some of these things will keep that. Norwegian SS volunteers. Reichsfuhrer Himmler sought to expand the Waffen SS with foreign military volunteers to for the crusade against Bolshevism. At the opening of Operation Barbarossa, a Norwegian unit was formed. Okay, so we get SS Norwegian Norway. I want to look at that quickly here, just sort of see what that is. I know we got a bunch of other stuff, but okay, so it's a motorized battalion. Cool. Okay, Flemish volunteers, similar sorts of things. Yes. Revised anti-commentary pack. Yes, technically when when the Germany signed the Ribbentrop-Molotov Pact, it breaks the Comintern Pact. I don't know exactly what all of the other members were told, but of it, but most of them didn't seem to be bothered by the breaking of it. But once you go to war with the Soviet Union again, they do a second anti-Comintern pact, which actually has a lot more people involved, which Denmark to my understanding, does voluntarily join up for it. And as well as like El Salvador and Turkey also joins up. But it doesn't mean that they're all going to war, because Turkey had no intention of invading the Soviet Union, but they wanted to both sort of keep Germany, you know, not looking at them as a potential, you know, target or a potential threat either way. You know, target is Germany to invade, or a likelihood of it being a threat. And they also saw the Soviet Union as a possible threat, so they wanted to sort of go along with that. So yes, Finland joins. We've already got them in our Axis. Hitler requests Axis commitment for 42. Okay, again, this is to revolverheld. I really wish you would give us a choice on these, because we have yet to have any strategic losses. I know maybe your mod is looking and seeing, oh, we've only, you know, we're in 42 and we don't control enough things, so you're sort of forcing this on this. But even if we were losing, I still want the choice on whether we call on this or not, because this is Germany requests, and I want to be able to request if I so choose or not. Schwerpanzer, yes, form it. We want that now. Okay, where is that? Okay, well, we want to put a leader in charge of that. Okay, you'll do. So head east. You're here. We'll leave you there for the moment. I'll move you a bit. East. You're not going to become frontline units right away, but may help hold the line or something at some point. Okay, Flak Division, we'll leave you in the west. Okay, no. Did that mess up this? SS Kiddo. We'll put Hauser, well, we've got to remove him from his current one. Current position. Yes, I want this, but no, I don't want you in charge of it at the moment. Don't know who we'll put in charge, but there we go. And Swedish volunteers. We'll send you up here. Cool. Yeah. Let's just send you east to be occupational forces once we get there. Okay. They were pushing in. Good, good, good. Those are going to here. We're not getting across that river yet. So what? Let's add you to the attack. You both. With more, but also more fronts. Yeah, okay, that's going to sweep through pretty quickly there. So we're going to have a small pocket here pretty quickly. Okay. We're going to end the... Oh, pause. We're going to end the episode, not the stream, just the episode. we're going to end the episode here. I want to thank everyone for watching. I want to thank you for liking the videos. I really do appreciate that. And, of course, please post questions, comments, suggestions, ideas. Love hearing from you. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.